I've done four.
Millennium.
Yeah. Sorry, over the years. So two last year. Would have been Friday and Saturday night for Almost Famous.
That's real cool.
Yeah, it was in the bigger room as well. Not the biggest room, the bigger room, which is like 250 each night. So we sold out each night. Recorded this in Radio Wales. It's nice.
Did you film it?
Yeah, I filmed it. I printed it up and filmed it myself. I'm not sure if I'm ready for it to go out because I think I've got a better version of it.
I think social media is so important in getting your name out and getting
it is, but it's a full-time job of getting all that content out, and I'm 40, so I'm not really away from me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it's a balancing act, isn't it? Because I get it, but I just haven't got the time to constantly churn out, videos of me talking about going to the shop and all that type of stuff.
And same as you, I'm 40, and I've had a life without social media.
Yeah, it's not important. If someone calls me a name on social media, I'm good.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, mate. Yeah,
it's okay.
So it's not going to break my heart.
No.
Stand up is the total pole of everything else revolves around, because everything has come from stand up, and that's the one I really enjoy. So that's the one when you see me 70 years old on the chair somewhere in the pub. Do you know what I mean? And it's the Almost Famous show. There's two shows, but the energy was completely different. So Friday night was a lot of people that I know, loud and most people really rowdy. The Saturday was a little bit quieter, and I was conscious I needed to record it for radio the Saturday night, so it was very much cleaner.
Yeah.
So the energy is different, so I need a really good editor to really get that.
Get
And
both sides.
Yeah. Stop coming out, just took me out clean, and I was out within like 5 seconds. But he did say to me, and I've never played rugby in my life, I was wasting talent. That's what he said.
Take a positive.
Exactly, yeah. That's the boss of Radio Wales last year, so I'm keen to, continue the team stuff on radio as well. And that conversation in the background, and just waiting for opportunity. Robin had that conversation this year as well with them, and then an opportunity came up and said, "Do you want to work together?" And I probably did. And then we done the demo after we signed the contract.
Yeah, what type of comedy is your favourite comedy? So, put it another way, if you so say I gave you like not an unlimited budget, but a nice budget for you could make your own TV show. Comedy,
Yeah.
What would you do? Sketch show, stand-up comedy?
Oh no,
variety show?
For me, Seinfeld is that level, in terms of the sitcom and the stand-up as well. So I think, it'd be like the Chappelle show then.
Hey guys, I'm Si. Welcome to A Podcast Nation. We're back here at A.C.E Media for a special My Story Extra. I was joined previously online back in COVID times, I think it was,
the olden days.
in the lockdown days, by stand-up comic, radio presenter, TV presenter, Leroy Brito.
Yeah.
Glad to have you back, mate.
You good?
Yeah, very good. Really been looking forward to it. We finally got you in.
Yeah, it's taken a while, hasn't it?
Yeah, you're super busy, aren't you? Doing a bit of
it's
everything,
busy.
mate.
It is good at the moment.
You're enjoying it though, surely.
Loving it.
So, I think we talked about it a little bit before. Like, I'm a massive stand-up comedy fan. So I'm going to start with that, mate.
Okay.
Because you've done two pretty big shows in the Millennium Centre, didn't you?
I've done four.
Four,
in the Millennium. Yeah. Sorry, over the years. So two last year. Would have been Friday and Saturday night for Almost Famous.
That must have been real cool.
Yeah, it was in the bigger room as well. Not the biggest room, the bigger room, which is like 250 each night. So we sold out each night.
Nice.
Recorded it for Radio Wales, and it's nice.
Did you film it?
Yeah, I filmed it. I printed it up and filmed it myself. I'm not sure if I'm ready for it to go out because I think I've got a better version of it now. So that's the thing. It's almost like a snapshot, isn't it, of where that show is at the moment. And I thought, I think it's better. So I'm doing it at Aberfest in October.
Okay.
But I'm not sure if I'll film it there because it may not look as nice as WMC. But I'm back in the WMC in October as well in the big room. I'm doing a gala show there
Oh, nice.
So yeah, I'm one of the acts in the big room.
Amazing. Right, yeah, if there's any links and stuff. I can
Yeah,
drop them
yeah,
in
the
description
link will
and-
be underneath. Yeah, I suppose
Yeah,
you better do
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, I suppose with stand-up comedy, like, I listen to this podcast with these two Scouse comedians
that. Okay.
religiously, and like they've grown their podcast from just something they did in Zoom, and then they've just grown it, and it's like ridiculous now. Like it's
Who are those? Is it Adam?
Adam Rowe.
Yeah,
and,
I supported him at the Glee.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's I'd never met him. I've spoken to Dan.
Yeah,
With a few times. He was supposed to be coming in here actually. But,
Okay.
he ended up cancelling the weekend,
Mm.
like the gig. But like what they've done with their podcast is now obviously they've gone to like another level. They've got their
Yes,
Patreons
yeah,
and they're
yeah,
doing all
yeah.
these like mad specials.
Mm-hmm.
But they talk about the inner workings of stand up quite a lot. And I suppose when you did those shows, you
Mhm.
would have done the Friday and Saturday night. But then you would keep doing gigs after that.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it'll change up. Maybe you'll drop a bit or
Mhm.
improve
Yeah,
a bit.
yeah.
And it's like, how long do you think it takes you to write a show from start to finish?
It's an odd one because the last one was like in COVID time, so I didn't get to work the material as much. That's why I wasn't 100% happy with it. So usually like a year to get it to where it needs to be. But if you're gigging properly, and you
I
know,
suppose when you're not gigging, it's very difficult, isn't it?
yeah, and you know also like the new stuff. You're writing a new show, but at the same time you're doing weekend work as well, and that's going to be your strongest 20. So you can't just go to the Glee Club and try 20 minutes of a new show.
Yeah,
You've
and
got
new-
to turn
new
up
stuff,
there. Yeah, so you do the new stuff on like Sunday night somewhere, or new material nights.
Yeah. What do you prefer? Do you prefer to go to like a new material night and kind of have a bit of fun with it and try new things? Or
It
do you
depends
like to-
on the level of the new material night. So if it's an established night and there's an audience there and people know how to run the show well, it's perfect. Like Drones,
Yeah.
or some of the other stuff I've done. If it's like just an open mic night where someone who's done comedy for 6 months decides to do
Yeah,
their
just
own
give it a
night
try,
in the corner of a pub and no one's listening, it's like it's wasting my time really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like. Saying that, I seen a few more of your clips recently.
Okay.
Popping up on my Facebook.
Yeah.
Because I think social media is so important in it to getting your
Yeah.
name out and getting out to
It
people who
is,
don't
but
know you.
it's a full-time job.
Yeah.
of
100%.
of getting all that content out, and like I'm 40, so TikTok doesn't really seem the way for me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it's a balancing act, isn't it? Because I get it, but I just haven't got the time to constantly churn out videos of me talking about going to the shop and all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
I just haven't got the
Alright.
bandwidth.
100%. Like I find it with podcasting, like.
Mhm.
I'm just in this situation where I would love to put, and I've got so many shows now over the
Yeah,
past couple
yeah,
of
yeah.
years with some incredible guests, and it's like I would love to be able to put out like 2-3 clips almost a day, probably.
Yeah,
I could do,
yeah.
Because I know that would help everything grow.
Mhm.
But like, I got 3 kids and a wife.
Exactly.
And I'm trying to do other stuff, and it's like, what am I supposed to find the time for that? It's
Just imagine like I'm out with my wife.
yeah.
I'm like, oh, sorry, babe, I've got to go home because Taylor Swift has dropped a new song. I'm going to lip sync to it.
Can't do that.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just, it's not me. And
No.
some people get it, like the podcasting stuff is amazing, but whenever you see a really good podcast, as you know, there's a whole team behind that.
100%.
Do
We
you know
look
what I
at like we were talking about Adam Rowe and
Yeah, yeah.
Dan Nightingale. Started off with 2 of them,
Mm-hmm.
but very quickly, as soon as like they were able to get out of Zoom and stuff,
Yeah,
they were in
yeah.
a little studio.
Mhm.
They had their mate come in,
Yes,
Carl,
yeah.
and I think there's like 6 of them now.
Exactly.
Adam and Dan don't do the clips and the
Mhm.
things and stuff, and
Yeah,
which means they concentrate on just being funny and
exactly.
yeah. I'm just jealous. I'd love to have a nice team of people doing it.
Yeah, sure.
And my kids are getting there, like they're getting older now, teenagers, and need to start putting them to work. I mean,
Yeah, get them
Get 'em doing it.
gripping and filming.
they got me on TikTok to try
Okay.
and like put clips and stuff up there,
Mm.
and I did it for like a week.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is quite interesting, and then I was just alright.
I haven't even
A
downloaded
week.
it.
I don't like social media. See, which is
Yeah.
I think which is the one problem for someone who relies on social media.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I know exactly. I like the craft of doing stuff. See, I like like writing jokes and doing the TV stuff and the radio, and the social media. It does seem like it's an effort, and
Yeah.
I get it that other people are blown up, but maybe that's not the route for me.
Yeah. I think it's difficult, isn't it? Because like was speaking to my missus about it last night, and I said, look, if I didn't have to promote podcasts and interviews and stuff, I don't think I'd be on any of them.
Yeah.
And then, like you say, it becomes like a chore because you're like, you've kind of got to do it because you need to. In your case, you've got to sell tickets or whatever.
Yeah.
So you've got to have it, but it's like
It's
not the same as chatting to someone or
it's
writing
the age
jokes
thing
or
as well. So I remember when there
Yeah.
wasn't any social media, so it's not as important to me in terms of my personality, and it's great for getting clips out and those type of things and keeping people updated. But I've also seen the other side of it. So I've done stuff which has gone viral, and then you're just getting just people talking nonsense to you, and do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So it's just like it's a ball ache.
I had a message last week. So last week,
Yeah.
I think it was last week or the week before, I had Cardiff City chairman on, Mehmet Dalman. Right?
Yeah.
So for the third time I've had him on because I've got a contact with him.
Yeah.
He's come on before, he's enjoyed it, he does it live.
Mm-hmm.
People can ask whatever they want.
Yes, yeah.
If they don't choose to ask in the hour and a half or whatever, there's always people afterwards saying, oh, why didn't you ask this, why didn't you ask that? And my answer is always, it's an open thing. Like,
Yes, yeah.
send the question. So this guy, he sent me a message saying, who are you? Why have you got that interview? Why didn't it go to someone else who I don't want to name because I like the person? And just like very poor, just like full on, like critiqued it. And I was just like,
yes, yeah. Everyone's a critic, though, aren't they?
yeah.
Everyone, they think their opinion. Everyone's got an opinion, which is cool, but not every opinion is valid.
There's a way
Nobody
to
needs to
put
hear
your
your
opinion
opinion.
as well.
It's just you find it on social media. People just like jump on stuff. It's like all right, just like
You don't walk up to someone in the street to you and say, don't like what you're wearing.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And for me, the ultimate test for me is what the audience react to, not
100%.
what somebody on social media when they get a small clip of something without context react to. Do you know what I mean? So I'm all about the live stuff really.
I had I had like a few hundred people in the live chat at the time in the show. They were happy.
Yeah.
And I had probably just under 100 comments, messages, texts afterwards saying, well done, great.
Yeah.
But it's that one negative comment.
Yeah, it
and
does.
it's
It
like,
does. Yeah, it does. But you just got to ignore it. I'm lucky enough I can just switch those people off. I don't try to respond to people on social media with any negativity. It's just like you do you. It's cool.
Well, I typed out a reply and then I just deleted it.
Yeah, that's
Didn't say
good. That's
nothing.
cathartic for you, isn't it? Yeah.
And then, as it was, some people who watch and follow kind of pointed out, and then I think a couple of like footballers and that.
Yeah, and at the same time, that person could interview him and create a different space. So your space may not have been the most corporate conversation with him,
Yeah.
but somebody else could have that conversation. So you're fitting a need and a niche for yourself, aren't you?
That's it, mate. And I find it frustrating because it's like everyone's got, like you just said there, everyone's got something to say. Very rarely is it positive on social media.
Yeah,
isn't
of
it?
course.
But like I'm the same as you. I'm 40, and I've had a life without social media.
Yeah, it's not important. If someone
no.
calls me a name on social media, I'm good.
Yeah.
It's
Do you know what I
like,
mean?
all right, mate. Yeah,
It's okay.
it's it's not gonna break my heart.
No. And
Yeah.
it's weird, doesn't it? Like I see my 13-year-old, he's on TikTok all the time, and I explained to him the other day, like it's designed to keep your attention span short, but also keep you on your phone.
Yeah.
And like I was kind of going through it with him, and I can't just explain it to him, and he was like, "Oh, really? Why would they do that?" And he's like,
Yeah.
"But like you could lose him. Like if you just left him there, he would just sit on TikTok going
Yeah. Doom
hours at a
scrolling.
time. I hate it.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
But there we go.
The real world is nicer. The real
Yeah,
world.
it is. Get sunshine on. Get a bit of sunshine on your face. Go
Yeah.
for a walk. That's what I say.
But at the same time, at Leroy Brito.
Yes.
Yeah.
Follow at Leroy Brito, Ace
Yeah.
Podcast Nation on social media and YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to all those.
Yeah.
With your stand up,
Mhm.
like obviously you do presenting on TV.
Mhm.
You've got the radio shows and stuff.
Yeah.
Out of the three, like what's your favourite
Stand
thing
up.
to do? Stand up every
Stand-
day of the
every-
week.
The stand up is the totem pole of everything else revolves around it. Because everything has come from stand up. And that's the one I really enjoy. So that's the one when you'll see me 70 years old on a chair somewhere in the pub. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Still doing stand up. It doesn't matter
Sorry.
which level of success I get to or I've been to. That is, that's the core.
What's the ultimate aim with the stand up? Like what would you like to do?
The ultimate aim, I've tried to explain this to people. So the material aspect would be Saturday Night Live. And the reason Saturday Night Live or dropping in at the Comedy Cellar in New York, is because if I'm able to do those things, everything else has fallen into place.
Yeah.
If I'm able to just phone up the Cellar and say I'm dropping in this weekend, that means I've attained certain milestones in there. So the arenas would be nice, but I don't think stand-up really works in the largest context, in the macro.
A certain size. I think
it works much better in the 300, 400 seater, small, intimate gigs, and that's where I think the sweet spot is for me, to be able to do those gigs. And it's nice to do the big gigs, but that's the sweet spot, really.
Yeah, and I think like in an arena, for instance, like heckling and stuff like that is part of stand-up, isn't it? If you're in an arena, it almost gets lost because
that's cool. They can fuck off.
No, there is that.
It's not about them.
But no, you know what I mean. Like the people right in the back.
It's not intimate. It's
they just feel like.
And the jokes, the laughs come in waves in the larger rooms.
Yeah.
It's not an instant hit.
So what you reckon? About 400 people is the ideal, do you?
Well, it could be 1,000 in a nice room. Do you know what I mean? So that's
depends
where
on
I'd like to be. Yeah.
I suppose like streaming platforms have changed the game a little bit, haven't they? Because obviously, probably 10 years ago, most stand-up comics, like the aim is like do some sort of, do a tour or whatever, and get DVDs and things like that. But you don't necessarily have to have DVDs now because DVDs are dying.
Yes. You get some type of special. So there's different options. Obviously, the main one is Netflix that people always see. But what's happening with Netflix at the moment in terms of money? There's the Prime option.
They've got quite a lot of good stand-up.
Yeah, they can stand up. They do stuff at Soho Theatre. There's the self-produced way, which I went, which I could bring it out. It looks really good, but so the material, I'm not 100%.
Got to be happy with it, I think.
Yeah, and I think it's just the ball ache of just getting someone to edit it.
Yeah.
Because I'll have to sit in the room because there's 2 shows we filmed with like 5 cameras each. So getting it all, that would be quite a lot.
It's quite a time-consuming.
Yeah.
Batten I've edited in with like 1 or 2 cameras.
You could get it onto YouTube and see what happens there. There's next up comedy.
That's what's his name we were talking about just now? Adam did. He put his last special out on YouTube.
Yeah, I'm thinking of it.
Because I think there's something to be said for it. Like a lot of the American comics now, they are putting their specials out on YouTube because they're selling their tickets and their tours off the back of their clips and specials and doing it on YouTube. And like, do you know Andrew Schultz?
Yeah.
He sold the rights to his most recent stand-up special. Everyone thinks it was Netflix. He didn't actually name it, but say Netflix. He sold the rights for his stand-up special, and then when he gave it to him, they said, "Oh, we need you to take this joke out, and this joke out," and he said, "Well, no, because it worked for the live audience. They loved it.
Yeah.
I'm not taking it out."
Exactly.
They said, "Well, we won't put it on if you don't." So he bought it back, used his life savings or whatever for an exorbitant amount of money, and then he put it on a pay-per-view through his podcast.
Yeah, through your website and everything. Yeah, it's easy to set those up.
I can't remember how much he said. He tripled what he had paid to get it back.
Exactly.
Because people were backing him, because people do like to see someone kind of go up against and do it themselves.
Of course. Yeah, so there's loads of options. And it's almost the Almost Famous show. There was 2 shows, like the energy was completely different. So the Friday night was a lot of people that I know, loud, and it was me managing those people, really rowdy. The Saturday was a little bit quieter, and I was conscious I needed to record it for radio the Saturday night, so it was very much cleaner. Yeah. So the energy is different, so I'd need a really good editor to really get that.
Get both sides.
Yeah, sure.
That's interesting, that is, because I suppose I didn't think of that. Like radio is kind of different to TV, isn't it? In that
100%.
You can't have any sort of...
There's no physical jokes.
No swearing.
No swearing.
Like
so I had to...
Really
change it up and change my energy as well. Perform the jokes instead of being, looking people in the eye and telling them the jokes.
So for that first night, that would have been the night with your friends, your family.
Yeah, lots of people.
They're always going to be rowdy.
It was rowdy, yeah. It was a Friday night, so yeah, the energy on that night was really, really good.
And so were those shows the same jokes, same material, but just told in a different way?
Just different energy.
I suppose if you prepared beforehand,
Just
Still
being,
difficult,
just
though,
being
isn't it?
conscious of it. It's just being in the moment and conscious of it, and reacting in a different way, and because you're working with the crowd.
Yeah.
It's not a one way
See,
situation.
it's a strange thing to me because obviously I've once performed something in front of like
Yeah.
live audience. It's so I haven't got that experience to go by. Like to me, that's still it sounds very difficult to perform the same show differently back to back. But then I suppose if you're used to controlling a room, you're used
Yes,
to
exactly.
telling
I think that's what
material.
it is. I think in terms of just being able to control a room, read the room, and match the energy as well. Yeah, because on the Friday night I had to go out big because they were loud, so I had to almost like take dominance in the room.
Yeah. Would you get so if you hadn't sort of taken control of that room and they've kind of got louder and louder through the night? I'm assuming that's going to be very difficult to
Yeah.
get your
difficult.
jokes out.
Yeah, it's very
you have
difficult.
more people shouting out.
Yeah, and especially when it's like people I know, there's no distinction between who they think I am in real life compared to on stage. So they think they're talking to Leroy, their mate, and it's like,
I'm working a minute.
I've had to say so many times, like, all right, cuz, just it's not about you.
We need to move on now.
Yeah.
Got a whole set to
Exactly. We're only here for a few hours.
Yeah. Wow. See, I could sit here and talk about stand-up comedy for
I
hours
love
and
it.
hours.
Yeah, I
mate,
love it. I love the mechanics.
So out of those 2 nights, which one did you prefer?
Oh, Friday. Friday was just you're able to. It was the rush of doing it for the first night as well.
And then you got the radio one. So
Yeah.
the radio edit, you can't swear at all on the radio. one,
No.
That'd be difficult. Did anyone heckle you on that second night? I know, like anyone shouting out.
Not
and stuff?
really. No.
Just a different vibe.
It was It was a completely different vibe. Yeah.
It's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I suppose like
Same a lot of people. Just
crowd will
different
take their lead off you as well, I suppose. And if you come out and you're like you take control of the room and you're addressing the fact that everyone's quite rowdy and up for it, and you're up for it, the crowd will take the lead from that. Whereas if you come out and you're a bit more not reserved, but you're sort of more calmer or whatever it may be, they'll take that lead from you as well. It's interesting stuff that is. But they both got a good reaction.
Yeah, both people on both nights really enjoyed it. I'm just ultra critical, so that's why I haven't dropped it yet. So I'm just ultra critical.
Because I saw like a couple of your posts about it, and I had a quick look yesterday, and I was trying to find it, and I was like, I can't find it anywhere.
Yeah. Oh, it's gone. It's only on radio for like 30 days. BBC Science.
Yeah, I wonder. Hopefully you'll put the video out at one
Yeah,
point.
do you know, I probably will. I just need to I got a few. My father-in-law's an editor, so I could go to him. Do you know what I mean?
Just be super nice.
Yeah, and I know people, professional people who do it. We
Yeah,
filmed
of
it
course.
professionally. I don't mind fronting up the money for it because I know that it'll pay dividends.
Yeah, and I think if you've got it filmed professionally and done it that way, you wanna.
Yeah.
You don't want to put it out half-assed. And
Yeah, I
stuff,
want to be proud of it. Yeah.
Sounds good. So, do you think? So, with your like gigs and stuff now, are you still working on some of that material and some of it's gone? And you're back into it.
It's evolved. So a lot of it's gone into my 20-minute set now.
Yeah.
It's been incorporated into that.
So so say you've got like your 20 minutes now to go to work in the Glee and places like that. Are you still sort of behind the scenes working on another
100%.
45, another
100%.
hour?
Constantly writing. So writing every day, texting myself like notes and stuff in terms of jokes, and that could be stuff which adds on to that material or brand new ideas which I'll just let marinate in my head. I say.
Are you someone who would like you carry like a notebook around with you or something?
It's on my phone. It's just if you look at my phone, there's notes app, and it's just all
just full of
ideas.
different ideas.
Yeah,
and stuff.
yeah.
And do you set aside time per day, or is it just like throughout the day? You might think.
I try to set about time, but the best thing for me, the creative process is to be bored, in terms of having that where your mind subconsciously is just almost like computing the ideas and it's coming up with little things in your head. Yeah. So I run a lot. When I'm driving, it's those things. That's when inspiration comes, when there's boredom. And these days people are not bored.
No.
There's too much overstimulation. So I can sit down and write, but the best jokes don't come out of that process. The best jokes come out of you know,
Well, you're not
boredom.
thinking about it.
Exactly, and it's your subconscious mind, thinking of it, and I'm like, yes, that works, and then I can bounce off ideas off the back of that.
See, if it was me, I'd have to. The second I'd think of it, I'd have to get it in a note or a voice. Because it'd be gone into the void.
Yeah, exactly. You've got to bottle. They say, like, you know, you've got to bottle that magic.
Because it'll just go into the void.
Yeah,
it's
it does.
gone forever.
It does.
There's
Yeah.
nothing more frustrating
Oh,
than
mate,
thinking of
yeah.
something.
So anytime at
you
night,
can't remember it.
anytime at night, I will grab my phone and write it in, because I will not remember it in the morning.
Yeah, you don't want to be like just dropping off to sleep. Think of something.
Oh,
superb.
so many. I
And
mean,
then-
if you look, I think last night I was adding stuff in my phone. Oh, watch I don't.
Yeah, don't fall
I
over.
just don't. I'm like Prince William getting pegged. You know, last night there was, yeah.
Jeez, look at all those.
Oh, mate, let's go. I've got loads of these. Yeah.
Just
So there you go.
to
You can't see that.
Just,
It's this one. Yeah, you can. There you
Yeah,
go.
you won't see it. It's
You
just,
won't be able to
don't want
see
to
it.
give all the jokes away.
Yeah, and a lot of it's like, it's just, if you look at it, you're thinking that's not funny, but I know there's
It's
there's
the
funny
start
in
of
there
something, isn't it?
somewhere.
Like a
Yeah,
thread
yeah,
or
it's
something.
it's the embryo of a joke, isn't it?
Pull at the thread and it'll soon take shape.
Yeah, yeah. It's almost like they say, like, you've got a rock and you're just polishing it, and it's, you know, a piece of marble, and you're
Yeah.
cutting away at it, chiseling away, just getting to the essence of the joke.
Do you like? Do you prefer when you're gigging? Would you prefer to just go in, do your 20 minutes or your 40 minutes or whatever, or do you like to do like a bit of crowd work and then do your material, and then kind of finish on the big joke? Or is it?
It depends on what I'm doing, and it depends on what the night is. So if I'm MCing, I've got to work the
gotta
crowd.
do that.
Or depends on if the MC hasn't really worked the crowd and where I am on the bill. I could be first on, the MC just just goes through the admin really. I prefer just doing my set and then working with the crowd. So something will come up, and I've watched the MC work as well, so I know certain characters in the audience and I can reference them, etc. But yeah, I do prefer just doing my material,
Just doing
because
your
that's
bit.
what I've worked on. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course, yeah. What about like in terms of like the Glee? You'll have you'll have the compare, you'll have the opener, middle, and then the closer. Where would you prefer to be on the card? Because I've seen a few different comedians say different things. Some of them would they say just I'll open and then I'll the audience is fresh.
Yeah,
And then I'll
it
go do
depends.
my
It
thing.
depends. So
Depends who's before you as well, I suppose.
yeah, you've got to be conscious of the other act. So, you know, if it's like a musical act, sometimes they're better at the end because they'll get big
Yeah.
energy just off the back of the songs.
Mm.
But I don't mind. Usually at the Glee down here, I open.
Yeah.
I've opened many Glees, I've closed Glees. I don't really mind. The middle spot's nice as well, the sweet spot.
Mm.
Yeah.
Crowd is like not too
It's
drunk.
just, yeah, exactly. Just nice and warm. Yeah.
Yeah, difficult to control crowds. It's
Yeah,
like the
yeah.
thing on Friday nights when they're if you're
charged
on
up.
late and they're trashed.
Yeah.
I just always imagine it's difficult to get through a full 20 minutes. Like if you've just constantly.
Yeah,
got,
but then
like,
you
people-
know, the surprise is, I suppose, for people who don't do comedy, is we've heard every heckle. There's only so much
Yeah.
a stag do on a Friday night can say.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So we've heard all this before.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
you know, we're ready for it. So it looks like it's natural, but you know.
Said it
we
3,
did.
4, 5 times. That
Yeah.
It's funny, isn't it? Because in a group of lads, like a stag do or whatever, you'll have there's always one guy who will think he's funnier, or girl,
Yeah.
who will think they're funnier than the comedian,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, oh, well, I'm funnier than him, and you'll say whatever,
Yeah.
and then it starts, doesn't it? And sometimes you see clips, with like Paul Smith,
Yeah.
they just won't leave it alone. Like they'll get sort of the put down or
Think it's
whatever to
about
start
themselves.
with.
Yeah.
And then they'll go, oh, well, he's talking to me now. I can kind of, this is.
Yeah. Well, there's
1v1,
three
isn't it?
types of hecklers. There's the first one who probably hasn't been to comedy before and doesn't really know the rules, so they're like, oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
And it's just a reaction they've got, and that's fine. The second one is someone who thinks they're helping you, and it's coming from a good place.
Yeah, they kind of agree with what you're saying.
Yeah, like, oh, he said, and that's coming from a good place, so you can manage that. Do you know what I mean? The third one is when it's coming from a bad place and they're trying to put you down, or it's their mission to, I'm going to show the comedian
Disrupt
up, and
it,
that's
or-
when you can just take them to court. Do you know what I mean? And they deserve it.
Do you have to write those as jokes?
No.
Just kind of
You-
naturally.
you-
like
you
over
work
the
off the
years and
b-
stuff.
It's the thing is, like, for me, they're drunk, I'm sober, and I've got a mic.
Yeah.
So, and
It's
I'm
not fair
I'm,
fight,
I'm
is it?
in that zone already. Do you know what I mean? I'm already thinking quickly.
Yeah.
So hopefully, then they're firing. I'm firing on all cylinders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it. It's I was once at it was like a black tie thing.
Yeah.
And I was very drunk, and I was only young. I think I was probably 19, 20. I don't think I'd been to a lot of stand-up comedy, and the people on my table who were all a bit older, it's like for a cricket do it was, and they had said to me, whatever you do, don't get up to go to the toilet. And I'm like, what? And I'm just kind of like, and the comic, obviously they do these functions and stuff.
Yeah.
They're waiting for it. They're waiting for the first person to get up and the first person to heckle. And I got up and he just absolutely ripped me to shreds.
Yeah.
But because I was young and I was also pissed up, I didn't get it. I think I was just arguing with him as I was walking out the room.
Yeah. I've seen many of you before.
Yeah. Well, looking back, I find it funny, but I also find it a bit cringeworthy because if I was there now, I'd be like, oh, you fucking idiot.
It was this young dickhead.
Yeah,
I know. But at the same time, you just go to the toilet. So, sometimes during a set, if I'm on the way to a joke and someone's going to the toilet, just let it be.
Yeah,
it's loud. Do you know what I mean? It's it's fine.
Do you know, Jason Manford was on I've Word the other day, and he said, since COVID, he's stopped pulling people up if they have a look at their phone or whatever. Whereas before COVID, if you saw someone on their phone or whatever while you were doing your set, you'd draw attention to it and you'd make a few jokes. He said he stopped doing it because over nearly 2 years of lockdown, people's attention spans
100%
really deteriorated.
Yeah. It's a weird one because when it first reopened, I think I'd done the first Glee when it reopened. And it was lovely because everybody was like, oh, we're out.
Yeah.
And within about a month, it just turned and they were fucking horrible, man.
Just like animals.
They were like animals because I suppose just being in your own house, it's about me. And then you go out, it's my time out.
Yeah.
And it was just really difficult, man.
I haven't been out for 2 years.
Yeah, I'm going to make it about me. Yeah.
The other thing as well is they've been measuring their own drinks for 2 years.
Yeah.
It's like triple vodkas.
Yeah, sure.
It's brutal. So you also do a bit on the Scrum 5 spin-off, isn't it?
Yeah,
is it a spin-off?
yeah. It's
I'm not rugby, see, so you'll have to.
Yeah, it's for the Six Nations. So I don't think it's a. Yeah, so it's it's its own show for the Six Nations. So I do the. The last year I was a competitor on the It's a Knockout challenge thing, and then I done a little write up for the awards.
Okay.
That was nice, filming in the stadium. And this year I hosted the
Showdown, is it?
Yeah, the Six Nations Showdown. And I've done stuff with them for football as well. So they've done the Euro show last year with Gabby Logan as well. So I've done a little piece there.
Yeah. You like doing that sort of stuff?
Yeah, it's good, man. It's I do enjoy it. So I'm doing something this year as well, writing on a show which is coming out for BBC Wales and hopefully Network as well for the World Cup.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah,
that'd be really cool. The World Cup's gonna be.
It's gonna be amazing. Yeah, it's gonna be a weird one, mid
season.
Mid-season,
It's we worked out. It's a couple of weeks after my birthday. It starts and it's that's never gonna happen.
No, and it could be over within a week.
Yeah,
that's the mad thing. It's 8 days. It's not going to be, but
I hope not.
Yeah.
But typical Wales, isn't it? It's they finally get to a World Cup after all this time, and they go to the World Cup where
the shit World Cup.
Yeah,
let's just be honest.
No one's going to go.
Yeah,
it's just before Christmas.
Yeah.
It's too hot.
Too hot.
Just
no drinking.
Yeah.
You got to go to Dubai, then fly in. And, I know.
Typical Wales, that is. 100%.
Yeah.
So with that, you said you done It's a Knockout stuff.
Yes, yeah.
Did you win?
I got robbed by Scott Quinnell at the end. We were flying, me and Philippa, she's Welsh international winger, flying through, and at the end we were so far ahead. They said whoever wins this last thing gets to win the whole thing, and it was the Zorbin balls. And I had a plan. I went in and Scott Quinnell just took me out clean, and I was out within 5 seconds. No. But he did say to me, and I've never played rugby in my life, I was wasted talent.
Oh, there you go.
That's what he said.
Got to take the positives.
Exactly, yeah. I was so good last year. They put me on like the host. Yeah.
Right. Oh, that's good.
And
though,
Scotland won, a guy called Tom Evans won. He's ex-international.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So but that's good. That means that when you were on there as a competitor, the people who run it and whatever, they obviously seen something in you.
Yeah,
You're entertaining, you're funny, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Like, bring him back.
Yeah.
And like you said about your stand-up has led to other opportunities.
Yes, it has, yeah.
That's what you need, isn't it? It's like a foot in the door.
Yeah, it helps. It does, you know, and be able to think on your feet.
Mm.
You know, that's the beauty of stand-up.
Yeah, I suppose that quick thinking and the improv side of it in terms of you are used to heckles and stuff like that. Which you're not going to get heckled on TV, but what you might get is something might go slightly awry or
and you can play with it. Yeah,
you can kind of very quickly think on your feet and that. Interesting. And then you got the radio shows as well.
Yes. So we've done radio. It's finished now. So we've done it during the whole of summer whilst football's off, and we loved it. Myself and another comic, Robin Morgan. We've known each other for like 10 years, so the rapport was there.
Yeah.
And you can hear that on the radio, and we're comics as well, so we know how to give each other space and not like jump in over people's jokes. Yeah. So tee each other up as well. So it was fun. It was fun. Yeah. So fingers crossed we got some other things potentially happening, like for World Cup stuff and those type of things.
I'm sure they'll sounds like you know, you had that rapport and stuff.
Yeah.
And that comes across a lot on the radio when you've got like two guys or girls or whatever, and you can always tell if they're relatively friendly.
Yes, you can.
Because sometimes you'll have like they do it on radio quite a lot. They'll have like you know, the host.
Yeah.
But then they will also have almost like the production team as part of the show now these days, don't they? And sometimes they don't always mesh well initially. Yeah. But then, you know, over a year of time or whatever, they get
more confident and, you know, just
get used to each other.
Yeah.
But it helps if you can go into something like that, I think, with
even from the you know the demo we done, it was just straight away they were happy. So yeah.
How does that work then? Did they come to you and say we want to do this, or did you sort of do like a pilot and send it to them?
It's been a long time. So I had a conversation with the boss of Radio Wales last year, and so I'm keen to, you know, continue the TV stuff and radio as well. And that conversation was in the background, and, you know, just waiting for the opportunity. Robin had that conversation this year as well with them, and then an opportunity came up and said, "Do you want to work together?" Like, of course we do. Yeah. And then we done the demo after we signed the contracts, funny enough.
But I mean, that's perfect, isn't it? Because like you've both had the conversation separately, and then they've kind of said, "Oh, do you want to work with your mates?"
Yeah, exactly. It's
It's a no-brainer then.
And doing it on my own, I think that would have been difficult at the start. But with a friend, you can just like we can carry each other's load, really.
Yeah, and I think if there's any nerves or anything at the start when you first start doing those shows, you got your mate there. To
exactly.
Jump in or whatever.
Throw a life jacket over.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it? Yeah. I think doing shows on your own is hard.
Yeah. So you've got.
I've done a few podcasts on my own. It's difficult.
Yeah.
Because you effectively like just speaking to a camera
into the void. Yeah.
And I found it really hard. Like the first one I did, I think it was only about 45 minutes or something, but it was like 45 minutes of solid
concentration. It's concentration as well. When you're having a conversation, when you're speaking, and it's cool. But when you're just looking down the camera or looking into a mic, that's tough.
Yeah, I don't know. I've done loads now, and I quite enjoy them sometimes, but I think it's much more enjoyable, and I think it's better to watch as well. People having a natural conversation, which has kind of always been my thing with this. Is I didn't want to get people in here or on Zoom or whatever and just be like question answer. Just have a chat to people.
Exactly. Yeah.
Find out what makes them tick and stuff like that. Yeah. With the radio stuff, like what would you like to do with that? Would you like to get like a regular, dry fan show or something like that?
I'd really like to do radio more because I've really enjoyed it more than I thought I would do. But it needs to be the right type of show. Yeah. It needs to be the right time of day and day as well. So it was nice to do the radio show for these 11 weeks because...
What time were you doing now?
We were doing 5 till 7. So my wife was happy because I wasn't on the road every Saturday night. but at the same time I couldn't gig as much as I wanted to. So it needs to take second place to comedy, if I'm honest. It pays well, but at the same time I want to do comedy. So Saturday nights, that's my sweet spot. Weekends are my sweet spot. But I love Sunday mornings or Sunday or midweek or something. But it needs to play second fiddle to the stand-up, because otherwise, it's what I want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So ideally, you want like a nice drive time show, Monday to Friday.
Saturday
really.
mornings. Yeah.
What about early mornings, like Monday to Friday? Breakfast
I'm
show?
I'm up early, and it'd be nice, but I think my body clock would get messed up, especially if I'm doing late nights on the weekend. And
Yeah,
then
be all over the shop, wouldn't it?
switching over, but at the same time, if they offered it to me, I'll be there with my Nespresso every morning.
Yeah, that's it. Now. Well, I suppose when you get to our age, it's like people. There's a
I
lot
love
to
my
be said
sleep.
for routine. innit?
Yeah.
I
And
like-
kids as well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like getting up early mornings as well.
Yeah, I was up at 5 this morning, writing, and
Just, I'd rather get up. It's weird, like when you're younger. So I look at my boys now, and they're like
11 o'clock, 11:30.
and I used to love that. Like I used to get up and do a paper round every day, but I'd go back to bed and stay in bed or whatever. And then as I got a bit older,
Remember
I started
paper rounds?
drinking.
Don't exist in it. Do they exist?
Yeah, but my middle boy does one every day.
I bet there's about 5 papers he delivers nowadays.
I don't know. He does.
Not compared to back in the day.
I think actually there's like 2 rounds to bump his pay up.
Yeah.
But I think it's because there's not as many kids want to do them these days.
Yeah.
It's because their parents give them too much for nothing.
Where do you live as well?
Birch Grove.
Birch Grove, okay, so it's quite flat.
Doesn't do it in Lannish.
Quite flat.
I don't know. He goes up he has to go like a quarter of the way up Caerphilly Mountain.
Oh, okay, towards like Thornhill and stuff.
Yeah. So it's what it is. He pays him like he got paid 40 quid or something yesterday. So
No, it's not bad.
that's good. Like, I encourage it.
Yeah.
My older boy, as soon as he was 16, he was tried to find a job. It took him a while, but
it does. My son took a while. He's working for his stepfather now, doing media stuff, like setting up like equipment and stuff. So
that's ideal. Now.
Yeah.
My oldest boy's working in I won't say where. I nearly said where. In a hotel in Cardiff, like in the kitchen, and they want him to go in a bar and that now when he's 18. But he loves it. But he was clever in that when he got his job there, they hadn't opened. So when they opened, he'd already got the job. So they opened up, and it was him and a couple of other people.
Is it a really nice hotel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the
place.
State, yeah.
Yeah.
And so then he's gone there, right? And he started with a couple of other blokes and kids, and I think 2 or 3 other people who started with him, kind of like one of them didn't turn up.
Yeah,
when one of them was there, wasn't interested. Whereas he went in,
looks good.
and he just works his
ass
off like for the whole time. So they're like, "Oh, will you come and work for us as a full-time chef?"
He's the manager next year.
Yeah. But like they want to work, so I'm happy with that.
Yeah, of course.
Because it means that I haven't got to give him.
It's good lessons, because the money's not that important at that age.
No.
But it gives them that ethic, that work ethic.
Yeah, you want them to, like, I had it from a young age. Like, as soon as I was like, I'd say 13, 14, it's like if you want something,
I was working.
work for it.
Yeah.
You don't just get it because you've asked for it.
100%.
And unfortunately, I see like some of the kids like they're right in and around them, like their mates and friends, and they just
entitled, aren't they?
Yeah. And it's like if their parents would dare to say, no, you can't have that. It's like
meltdowns.
Yeah, it's like come on.
I'm holding my breath. I don't love you. All that type of stuff. Yeah.
Why don't you love me?
Yes.
I've only got an iPhone 8 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Jesus. Yeah.
I get a lash. That's what I get.
Yeah. Well, that's it. I would have. And I have said that to my.
We're not condoning. We're not condoning.
No.
It's illegal as well.
Exactly.
It's illegal in Wales. You know that?
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
But like, when I was like 15, 16, maybe a bit younger, like if I spoke to my old man the way they sometimes will slip up and speak to me, it'd just been like,
It's different. It is different.
It is different.
But
like I do point that out to them. I say, you don't realise like how lucky you are, and not just in the things that you get, but in the way that you're treated, and you get respect. Whereas certainly when I was younger, like
we were seen as kids.
Yeah. You didn't have a say in anything.
No, not at all.
Do as you were told, and get on with it. And if you didn't, then there was kind of problems.
Yeah.
And you certainly wouldn't get sent to your room to watch TV.
I know. Yeah.
You'd get sent to your room, I'm bored, read a book.
Yeah.
But there we go. Two old men.
I know, just bitching about
Yeah,
these
just
kids.
bitching
These
and
bloody
moaning about
kids,
it.
these PlayStations, the TikToks.
No, I gotta be honest, I'm quite lucky. Like, with my boys, they're pretty good.
Yeah.
Touch wood. They don't get up to half the stuff which I used to get up to, thankfully. Because that was my worry. Three boys, I was thinking, what was I doing when I was like 16, 17?
Yes, yeah.
Oh, Jesus. But yeah. So with that, so if you take out stand-up from it, right?
Yeah.
And you had two sort of choices.
Mm-hmm.
You can only do one for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
TV or radio. What would you do?
It'd be TV. It'd be my own sitcom, writing that type of stuff. Presenting as well. Radio's good though, you know. Don't get me wrong, radio's really good, but I think I like the presenting on TV type stuff. Yeah.
You know, with that's what I was going to ask you. You know about the radio. So when you first did the radio, had you ever done any radio before?
Yeah. So I used to be on Beats FM back in the day, and then Radio Cardiff. Then Radio Cardiff, but that was just like, you know, me speaking into it, you know, and pressing the button.
Yeah.
This song is this. Boom. Yeah.
So like with the Radio Wales stuff and that now, do you have you got producers and all
You get
stuff?
producers,
Obviously.
yeah.
What do you just talk, or do you have to do?
Oh, I run the
other
desk.
bits and
No,
pieces,
yeah.
run the desk
So
and that?
So you know, we're able to run the desk. They really like us because we're just, you know, we're no drama.
Because you know what you're doing.
Yeah, we're just willing to learn. There's no ego. You know, we're happy to be wrong, and you know, so yeah.
Just want to kind of get on with it and do it. And
So
if you don't know, ask, and then you know, and then you can do it.
And they're like, you know, in your ear, you got 2 minutes chat. We'll have a good chat, 2 minutes, and then you know, go into a tune. Yeah, we know what we're doing.
It's ideal. Radio, I think.
It's good. It is good. It's Podcasts are nice as well. Fingers crossed.
Well, are you still doing your podcast?
No, I finished, man. Because if I'm honest, it's a hell of a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's a hell of a lot. I don't know how you do it. You know, churn them out every week. You know, getting guests, booking the time. You know, editing it down. I just didn't have it. I had some good guests. I was thinking about bringing it back. But it's just the time. It's you know, I've got to focus on stuff I'm really good at and to get to that point.
There's only so many hours in a day.
Yeah. I don't want to spread myself too thinly.
Funny enough, I was saying to the guys out there just before you come, like, I'm literally coming back off a break now because I was coming here in the day, then doing shows in the night from home, and I was just, plus then whenever I wasn't doing a show or here, I was editing or I was just chasing down guests because. And it was just like, do you know what? I need a break. I just said, right, I'm not doing anything. I'm going to come here a couple of times a week. Yeah. But I'm not doing anything in the evenings.
You've got to.
I did like 3-4 weeks of that. And
that's nice.
Just refresh my brain.
Yeah, come in with a new bit of energy, isn't it? Yeah,
big time. Because I was concerned, and it took my missus, in fairness, to sort of say, you're just gonna blow, like you're gonna go one way or the other. You're either gonna get to the point where you just, I don't want to do it no more, or you're gonna make yourself ill. It's like two roads because you just.
You're burning the candle at both ends, aren't you? Yeah.
It's hard, but I think.
100%. I agree with you, man. You gotta find what you like. So for me, like, I was getting acting opportunities, but I don't like it. So I decided not to do it, and I'm in a position where I can say no to these things.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I don't enjoy it. So what's the point of me stressing trying to read, you know, a self-tape audition on a Sunday night, arguing with my missus over it? It's like I don't like doing it.
Yeah, and I suppose, like, as long as you're in a position to be able to say no, I don't want to do this. You don't have to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
like.
I think I look at some stuff and like acting would be something which I just don't think I'd get on with well at all.
I can't remember the lines. That's what I'm honest.
No chance.
And then some of it's like they write you characters and like, well, I don't want to be this person.
But this character wouldn't. That's what I would be doing. I'd be going, well, hang on, this character wouldn't behave like this, or you wouldn't say this.
It's not like a dick. Most of the characters, I'm like, I don't like this person.
No.
Yeah.
That's interesting though.
Yeah, you got to do what you enjoy. Like, spreading yourself to. There's so many options to do so many things. When I'd rather just be a really good stand-up and do the other things which I enjoy.
How old were you when you started stand-up?
29.
So that's quite late, really.
Yeah. But I think it's benefited me because I've had something to say. And you know, if you're younger, you haven't really experienced life that much,
okay.
and you know, it may work. It may help you because you've got those chops after doing gigs and gigs and gigs. But at the same time, I think you need something to say. The stand-up that I like is when I can know that person a little bit more, and you need to have those experiences and you know those ups and downs in your life to go through to be able to draw on.
Yeah, I suppose if you're like 19, 20, and look, there's a few sort of young comics out there who are really good, but equally, you don't know yourself, do you?
No.
You haven't, like you say, you haven't really experienced a great deal, but also you don't. I don't think you know who you are until you're
not
late
at all.
20s,
Not at all. Man. Yeah.
All the best stuff happens as well, and you're like sort of.
Oh yeah, my
20s,
30s were amazing, man. I'm 41 next month, and like I feel young, feel good. Yeah.
40's the new 20. That's why.
Yeah. Except for the mornings when I gotta like fucking fall down the stairs.
Yeah, it's just like creaking the legs.
Yeah.
Yes, guys. Phenomenal chat with Leroy. Really, I can't tell you how much I enjoyed chatting to him about stand-up comedy and just life in general. Like two old men moaning away. But no, it was a real loads of fun. Massive thank you to Leroy for coming in to join me at A.C.E Media, coming down and just shooting the breeze. Already looking forward to the next time we get him on. Got a couple of comics lined up now, ready to come in. Got a couple of footballers, boxers, all sorts of people coming in to film some shows, do some online stuff. It's been a busy period, so please do, as always, check out patreon.com/AcePodcastNation. Really support the channel. Price of a cup of coffee, basically. Get all sorts of content, and including the big debate live every Monday, where we debate a couple of subjects, and we have early access to all the other podcasts, discount on merch, tickets, and stuff like that. It's a way to keep the channel going, basically. And of course, the audio of the Sports Social Podcast Network. Check out Violet Money. Use code ACE20 for 20% off at their website. And of course, please check out Leroy's stuff. He's got a show on BBC Radio Wales. He's got his social medias and all that. I'll link it all below. Please do check him out. Give him a follow. He's a great guy. Really, really nice fellow. And got so much time for him. And this was a lot of fun. Unfortunately, we had an issue with the last sort of 5 minutes, 10 minutes of the show. But we still had a good crack and a good full-length podcast with him. So, guys, as always, take care. God bless. Thank you very much. We'll see you next week for another episode of My Story. Go on, lad.